Welcome to Rays of Hope, where inspiration meets possibilities. Join us on this journey as we explore videos that illuminate the path to positivity, resilience, and success. Understanding the conditioned mind, key insights and practical applications. Ever wonder why certain thoughts and reactions seem automatic? Welcome to the world of the conditioned mind. This concept, rooted in psychology, explains how experiences shape our thinking and behavior. Each of us carries mental scripts formed by past interactions, culture, and beliefs. These patterns influence decisions and reactions, often without our conscious awareness. Understanding this can empower us to change unwelcome habits and make better choices. By recognizing these ingrained patterns, you're already taking the first step toward a more conscious and purposeful life. Dive into this exploration to uncover how your mind works and how you can reshape it for the better. Understanding the conditioned mind. The concept of the conditioned mind is central to understanding human psychology. It's all about how our experiences shape our thoughts and behaviors. This section unpacks key ideas around conditioning and introduces you to the historical figures who laid the groundwork for these concepts. Let's journey into the fascinating world of the conditioned mind. Historical background. The history of the conditioned mind is rich with scientific exploration and discovery. It dates back to the early 20th century with pivotal contributions from some of the brightest minds in psychology. Ivan Pavlov. In the late 1800s, Pavlov discovered classical conditioning while studying digestion in dogs. He noticed that dogs would salivate not only when they tasted food but also when they heard footsteps of the person bringing the food. This accidental discovery led to the concept of associating a neutral stimulus with an involuntary response. B.F. Skinner. Fast forward to the 1930s, Skinner expanded on Pavlov's ideas and developed operant conditioning. Using his famous Skinner box, he demonstrated how animals could be trained to perform specific behaviors through a system of rewards and punishments. Skinner's work was groundbreaking and showed that behavior could be controlled and predicted. These historical insights give context to how the study of conditioning has evolved and why it remains a core element of understanding human behavior. Just like a sculptor shapes clay, our environment and experiences mold our minds. Mechanisms of the conditioned mind. Understanding the mechanisms of the conditioned mind can provide insights into how we learn and adapt in everyday life. Through various processes, our minds develop habits and responses that shape our behaviors and perceptions. By exploring classical conditioning, operant conditioning, and observational learning, we can see the different ways our minds become conditioned. Let's dive into these fascinating concepts. Classical conditioning. Classical conditioning is like teaching a dog to associate a bell with food. It's a process where a neutral stimulus becomes associated with a significant stimulus. The most famous example of this is Ivan Pavlov's experiments with dogs. Pavlov rang a bell before feeding his dogs, and eventually, the dogs started to salivate just at the sound of the bell, even when no food was present. Implications of classical conditioning. Automatic responses. We often develop automatic responses to certain stimuli without consciously thinking about it. For example, hearing your phone's notification sound might make you feel excited. Emotional reactions. Emotions can also be conditioned. A particular song you associate with a happy memory might always make you smile when you hear it. These conditioned responses happen without our active effort, showing how deeply embedded this learning is in our daily interactions. Operant conditioning. Operant conditioning is about learning through consequences. It's the kind of learning that B.F. Skinner demonstrated using his famous Skinner box. This involves reinforcement or punishment to increase or decrease a behavior. Key elements of operant conditioning. Reinforcement encourages behavior. Positive reinforcement could be giving a child candy for doing homework. Negative reinforcement involves removing an unpleasant experience, like taking away a chore for behaving well. Punishment discourages behavior. Positive punishment could involve scolding for bad behavior, while negative punishment might be taking away a toy. Think about chores at home. If you receive a reward for doing your chores, you're more likely to continue doing them. But if you get scolded for not completing them, you'll likely avoid skipping them in the future. Understanding this can help in managing habits and behaviors effectively. Observational learning. Observational learning shows that we don't need to experience everything firsthand to learn. We can learn by watching others. Albert Bandura's work, especially his Bobo doll experiment, highlighted this. Children who watched adults behave aggressively toward a doll were more likely to mimic that behavior. Role of observational learning, modeling behavior. We often mirror behaviors seen in others, such as children imitating parents or peers. Social learning. This is powerful in understanding social interactions. For instance, learning societal norms by watching others. Observational learning emphasizes the importance of role models. It shows how watching the behavior of others can significantly influence our actions and reactions in various situations. By recognizing these conditioning mechanisms, we can better comprehend how behavior is shaped and modified. This understanding lets us reflect on our own habits and consider how subtly we are influenced by our surroundings and past experiences. Impact on behavior and decision-making. The way we think and act isn't always driven by conscious thought. Often, our minds are working in the background, shaping our decisions and actions through ingrained patterns. These patterns, known as conditioned responses, greatly influence how we behave and make decisions every day. Understanding these influences can help us become more aware of our choices. Automatic responses. Have you ever found yourself reacting to a situation without really thinking? These are automatic responses. They're like a reflex for your brain, learned from past experiences. For instance, when you hear your text message alert, you might instinctively reach for your phone, even if you're busy. This conditioned behavior saves time and effort, but it can also lead to impulsive actions. Automatic responses are a bit like a playlist your brain puts on repeat. They allow you to respond quickly, but they can also trap you in unhelpful patterns. Recognizing these behaviors is the first step toward gaining control over them. Cognitive biases. Conditioning also plays a big role in cognitive biases. These are the mental shortcuts your brain uses, often leading to errors in judgment and decision-making. Have you ever made a snap decision and later wondered why? That's a cognitive bias at play. Some common biases include confirmation bias. You tend to favor information that confirms what you already believe, even if it's not the whole picture. Anchoring. First impressions greatly influence your decisions. The initial information you receive can heavily sway your judgment. These biases help us navigate the world quickly but aren't always reliable. By being aware of these mental shortcuts, you can strive for more balanced decisions. Stay tuned for part 2, where we'll dig deeper into practical techniques for reconditioning your mind and making positive changes. See you soon. Thank you for joining us on this uplifting journey with rays of hope. Please comment, like, share, and subscribe to stay tuned for more videos that spark hope and empowerment. Until next time, keep shining brightly. Thank you for watching.